Hi to all users of the JDisc Discovery solution. Are you already using the new Web UI or still using the old fat client on Windows? Well, if you want to learn more about the Web UI, I would like to start here a small series about the capabilities of the new Web UI to show you how much more comfort you get with this new UI solution for your discovery.
Welcome to the JDisc YouTube channel.
JDisc Discovery is a great network discovery tool. It has a rich object model, a lot of devices that it can discover out of the box, and a very good data quality, which it distinguishes it from other solutions in the market. At the moment it comes with a Windows client that allows you to configure the discovery process, run discovery jobs, but also do the reporting, find information, export information, etc. But since a while, it also has a Web UI in addition. A Web UI with a modern styling, good look and feel, a dark mode, cool one. And today we want to look into what this new Web UI offers you. And we start with the general capabilities so that you see how to use it and what capabilities it offers in the daily use. JDisc Discovery is really developed in a true agile manner. It's agile development. Every day there's a new build available, and almost every build really makes it into the download area so you can download and use it. This way we have a new version available every day, and we have fast reaction and a quick feedback loop to the customers. That means that with every build, every day, there's a small improvements done, new devices supported, new features, new bug fixes in the version with every build. In a sense, because the web application uses the API, everything is first really implemented also on the API level. That means not only as a UI user, but also as an API user, as a developer, you can make use of all these features from the very beginning. And of course, every build is thoroughly tested automatically, and there's a good quality assurance. So if there is a bug slipping through, then the build is not published and there's no harm done to the customer. So of course the current Web UI is not complete, but it's getting better every day. You can look at your build number in the Web UI, which you see here, corresponding version and build number, and compare that with what you can download from the Web UI. Now, the Web UI of course started with a certain functionality, right? So it has first reporting, then it started to use the API, the developer experience, then the preferences, the scanner, and finally all the rest of the administration parts that the normal fat client on Windows has. So as the development progresses, you can more and more replace the Windows UI with the new Web UI. A few words about usability. Of course, the new Web UI has a fresh look. It's modern, a style that is up to date with today's requirements for using in a UI. It has built-in online help, context-sensitive online help. So in whichever screen you are, you have a help button that shows you how to use it. You can resize the windows. Remember, that was a bit difficult or limited, let's say, with the Windows UI. You can define preferences for each screen, and these are stored for each screen regarding position and size. So let's say if you need that dialog a bit larger or in a different position, that is possible, and it's remembered immediately without having to store it explicitly. You can open, because it's a browser, right? You can open a new tab or a new window with shift click, and so stay on the screen that you're currently at, but have a different dialogue in a different thread, so to say, in your mind, which comes with a browser automatically. And of course, there's a light mode and there's a modern dark mode, which is often used by developers, for example, or also others in operations, because they have it's better for the eye, for example. Well, so then let's start. Well, first of all, Here we have HTTPS and the URL. And first we need to log in the web application. Authentication is of course important. And we come into the new web application. Well, then let's first walk through some basic screens. For example, here's the About dialog, and here, as I've shown you, you see the current build version. You should check that this is the newest one, and you also see which modules you have installed. So if there's any functionality that I demonstrate you don't have in your UI, well, maybe you didn't buy that module or you haven't licensed it better. Here in application dependencies, that's a legal requirement that any application that uses open source software lists all the open source softwares and the licenses. That is fulfilled with that screen here. Then, of course, we have an online help. First of all, in this help button, you have kind of the help screen to the different topics. You have links here, right? You see when I go with the mouse over it, it gets a nice orange. And so you can click through that help text here and see how to navigate the web UI. Well, the next point is, of course, preferences. So here we have the preference screen, and remember, we have a web browser, so we can also, for example, enlarge display so that we see it better. And you see here that there are a couple of things that you can enter here. The most important is, of course, the appearance. So you see here that is the normal style, the light mode, right? And you can switch to the dark mode, which is of course much cooler. And in addition, so we press apply all the time, you can decide what the date format should be, whether it's be long or short, right? So you always see an example here when you change it, or the spacing in the tables. There's of course a lot of information displayed in tables, so how the tables behave is very important. So comfortable with a lot of space, or cozy, a little bit compressed, or compact, where you display most information on the screen. So let's apply it, go back to the default behavior, and that's it. But there are some more remarks regarding preferences. So if you, for example, go to the reporting section, we don't cover that today, that's a separate video, but you see there are a couple of these tiles, of these little windows here. So the UI will automatically store all the changes regarding sizing, position, etc. and settings of these windows automatically. So when I move a screen around, if I resize it, or I close it down or open it up, right? Everything is remembered, and the next time that you log in, you find your dashboard in the same way as you have here. We can also reset the dashboard to the default settings. Well, one more thing that might be clear, but it's not so obvious. We have a browser here, right? So some features we get automatically if the web application supports it. Or let's say go to an integration API, some of the actions will automatically open a new tab. Like if you press here, getting started, he automatically opens a new tab or window depending on the browser settings. Other operations, for example, in reporting, when I press on devices, it stays here, right? It just makes a drill down operation. But let's go back to the dashboard, and I hold the control key and press devices, right? You see I'm getting a new tab here open with that display. So in the browser I have a lot of tabs. Well, not endlessly, but a lot. And so we can make use of that by simply using Shift-Click. So we can simply make use of these browser features by using Control-Click instead of a normal click. Additionally, there's always the menu on the left-hand side visible, as you see. So there's the usual burger, where you can close down the menu, hide it, and show it again, which gives you more screen real estate. Well, there's one more thing that we should have a look at, and that's the administration menu. Now here you can set certain administrative settings, like for example, we are using HTTPS for security reasons. So of course you can set your own custom certificate, your company certificate for example. You can upload it here. This is of course a local self-generated one. That's why we had initially in the browser bar here a warning from the browser. But you have a trust center or something like that in a company which provides you a valid certificate from a certificate authority that is being trusted. Then you can upload that here. Here above we have always the breadcrumbs, so we can navigate back to, for example, the next tab, which is here the server health. So you see how much memory JDisc Discovery Server and Web UI uses, caching settings, and file system usage on your local machine where the server runs. And finally, what we had already in the About dialog basically is a list of the installed licenses, license information, whether it's a perpetual license when it expires, and how much of its used license, right? So normally you have a certain number of devices that you can discover, and so here you can see whether you're reaching some limit, yes or no. There's also a details tab here that gives you that information. While of course internally here we have all the licenses that we need, and it's not so expensive anyway, so you can also get to that state easily by buying the corresponding licenses. Well, that's what I wanted to show you for today, and we will look at more of this UI in the next videos. Well, now you've seen the new web application UI from JDisc Discovery and how to navigate it, how to use the most generic features. We will continue with looking into reporting and the scanner in additional videos, and so don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give us a like so that we can continue, and remember to click on the bell icon so that you get notified about new videos on this channel. Thank you and see you next time.